Welcome back, guys. Today I'm about to become immortal in Minecraft. Since the beginning of time, one issue has plagued Minecraft players, the issue of death. This issue became even more prominent as time went on, ending worlds. Filza, Sandiction, Lazarbeam.
Oh my god.
I, as many others, have found a fix to this issue, a raid farm. Now some of you may say becoming immortal ruins the whole integrity of Hardcore, and you idiots would be right, but please, if I die, there's no more content, so please let me do this. Anyway, I started my journey by just kind of flying over a huge river that led to a huge ocean. Now this ocean was luckily where my stronghold was, and so I just kind of plopped down in the middle of it and looked around to make sure there wasn't any land. Once I saw that there wasn't any, except for a little patch, I colonized that patch and I destroyed it. After this, I decided if I was going to be raid farming here, I might as well just make my stronghold more accessible. So after finding the portal room again, I just dug a huge staircase up. This took so long to edit. Please subscribe. Yes, finally. After that was done, I just quickly made a pillar up because that is how you remember things. You just pillar up. And then I jumped into my portal, jumped into the portal inside the portal, and I was back home. Now it's on to gathering the materials. Because there was a beach right next to where I lived, I started off the gathering materials journey by just digging sand. Then I realized I have no idea how much sand I need. In fact, I have no idea how much of anything I need. So I made the raid farm in a creative world to check if it works in 1.21 and made a list of all the blocks and things that I would need. And so I started mining out the 7 stacks of sand that I would need. This is times 10 speed. But those last 3, that was the 7 stacks. But then I realized I don't have enough cobblestone to make the furnaces to actually smelt all this sand. So then I went on a little strip mining trip. Because I need redstone anyway, so you know. Lucky for me though, I encountered a cave right below where I live. And so, you know, redstone mining just got 10 times easier. It's a cave. You have redstone everywhere. So, redstone montage. I then got out of there after I had a stack and a half. That was probably enough. I made the furnaces with whatever cobblestone I had, and it was about 4 furnaces, so it's good enough. It's whatever. And I started smelting all the sand. Once that was done, I could check off a bunch of things off my list. I made a piston. I made a bunch of ladders. I made trapdoors. Redstone torches. 2 observers. Not 1, 2. Just in case something happened to the first one. And I made a hopper as well. Then I tried making a lever, and dude, this was impossible. Why does regular stone not work? It's like, dude, what? And then also, why is the stick on top? I don't even know. I gave up. I just searched up the recipe. And I made a trapdoor gate thing. I still don't know what that's called. I even checked off trapdoor because I was confused. And I made a bow for a dispenser. See, I'm very good at redstone, and so I knew that I would need a bow for the dispenser. Then I headed into the nether to get nether things like lava and soul sand, because I had none of that for some reason. I went down to my netherite mining place and just started boring through, and I'm like, wow, lava, that's so rare. I can't believe I found that. I must be so lucky. And so I just got it because I couldn't get it from anywhere else. I couldn't find soul sand though, so I did the most sane thing and jumped off the nearest cliff. Don't do that in real life, by the way. Don't get. I ended up finding the soul sand valley, and it was really small. But I mean, hey, it's about the performance, all right? And I mean, it's about the materials that it gives, all right? And this gave me a stack of soul sand, so you know that was pretty useful. I got a stack, not just one, because what if in the future I want to fight like 20 withers at once? You know, I could probably take 20 at once. Anyway, I entered my nether portal again and checked off a bunch more things off my list. After that, I decided to go for a little dip in the ocean to find some kelp, because kelp is extremely rare. Alright, so I was really lucky that I found it in the ocean right next to my home. I was really lucky. And so once I got 2 stacks of the thing, I decided to call it a day, and I headed back. Check that off my list too. Now this is the final stretch. There's just a few more things I need to gather. I need to do whatever this was to get buckets and oak signs and stuff. And then I needed to make the 20 chests. I only made 14, that's probably not. And then I had to make 8 boats. And with that, everything's done. And now we can get on to actually building the farm. So once I had all the materials, I flew over to a spot in the middle of the ocean, which is where I was building the raid farm, put my ender chest in the middle of the ocean, and built a small platform to house the ender chest. I then took out 3 stacks of sand and started building up all the way to Y216. It took so long, dude. And put the lava down, waited 5 minutes for it to fully reach the ocean floor. I got cold up there, so I decided to take a dip in the lava. And then on the way back up, this happened. Instead of hitting 1 to get to blocks, I accidentally hit Q, and so I almost burnt my elytra. Luckily though, hitboxes exist, so I got it, and then I stuck the landing. Dude, I'm basically a pilot. I'm qualified to fly a commercial airliner. On with the build. It was then time to put the boats on here to prevent Vexes from killing me, but I realized I forgot the boats back in my ender chest. So I had to go all the way back down, get all the boats, and then go back up. This time though, I put a water bucket down so I wouldn't die. I did almost die doing whatever the heck this is though. What was I doing? I lost half my health that way. After making the housing chamber for the villager, I went back to my house to abduct one. Like I said before, the way to the raid farm is just a big river that leads into an even bigger ocean, and so honestly the route was pretty easy, except for the time when I had to defend him from 4 mobs. And honestly, I saved him here from so many zombies. The least he could do for me is sit in a box all day and, you know, make me immortal. That's the least he could do. After another minute or so of driving, I finally got to the raid farm. Now to get him in there was a bit like parking, and if anybody knows me in real life, you all will know that I suck at parking. So this was a little difficult to do. Also realized that I built the housing chamber wrong, so I had to redo that, so that was fun. Now this was the most satisfying part of the build. Aside from, you know, actually using it, that was probably more satisfying. Then I went into the end to repair my elytra, because to find the pillager outpost, I would have to fly a lot. My goal was to just fly in a straight line until I found one, but chunks started getting weird, so I had to slow down and actually just walk, until eventually I came to a hill. And right next to this hill was the outpost, so that was pretty useful. I then went in for the perfect landing from the top. They didn't hear anything. I then looted the chest, but there wasn't really much stuff in there that was useful. I also found allays. I have no idea what they do though, or how to use them, so if you guys know, comment down below, and I will bring them back to my base and see what to do with them. I then flew all the way up because I didn't see any raid captains, so I was hoping that when I flew up and came down, the mobs would unload and reload, and then there would be at least 1 or 2 captains. Now when I first started killing this dude, I thought it didn't work. But it worked. It totally worked, dude. There were so many. There were more on the way. There were way too many of them. I did get 1 captain, though, which was useful. And I got the bottle. I then flew back to my raid farm, and on a treetop about 50 blocks away, I went ahead and drank the potion. That gave me the ominous bad omen trial thing. And so I then flew towards the raid farm, which started the raid. As you can see, they're all there. So I flicked the lever, and I started chopping. This is the loot I got after 1 raid. This is the loot I got after 2 raids, so I was pretty happy. From there I grabbed a few totems and returned to my home on the cliffside. But now I could get the Caves and Cliffs achievement, which was really cool. So I pillared up with all the ore blocks that I had ever, and a little bit of sand. Just a little bit though. Here's what it looks like. A lot of ore. Most of it's just iron, but still, it's a lot of ore. I then dug down all the way to bedrock. And here's attempt number 1. Note how I say attempt, because it took a lot more than just 1 attempt. The first time I was on the wrong side, and so bam, there you go, post-mortal. I didn't want to get the achievement, but I did. Whatever. Here's attempt number 2. This time I was in the right spot, but for some reason I moved to the left a little, and so I popped another totem. Here's attempt number 3. This time it worked, or so I thought. Apparently you can't have a water bucket down there. Oh well. Now here's attempt number 4. This time it worked, and I got the Caves and Cliffs achievement. Then I went back, and this is all the loot I had after just a little bit more raiding. I'd say about after 5 or 6 raids, this is all the loot that I got. ENX04 is an actual legend. I filled up a shulker box with more totems, and then I mined all of this for those of you that wanted to see me do it. It was really cool, much fun. That was times 10, by the way. But yeah.